having kind of a small group here. Sorry, managing Zoom. There we are. So I want to, as I always do, sort of tap into the energy of the seasons, of the natural flow. I'm here in Western Massachusetts, so seriously 4-season kind of weather on the land of the unceded land of the Nipmuc and the Pecumtuck people. And it is a place of 4 seasons, but of course every place really is. So we kind of tap into the energy of that natural flow. And spring always has this feeling of awakening. I think this past few years that we've kind of been through means that because there have been so many difficulties between COVID and everything else that I'm sure you're quite aware of, it always feels like we have to start over. And of course, that's always the case. Our Dzogchen practice is really a practice of freshness. It's not a practice as much of trying to get and stay in some kind of place, or try to put something together, try to fabricate or build some particular state. We're reminded that liberation isn't something that is attained within the Dzogchen tradition. Liberation is actually pervasive, that it's liberation is what is. Liberation is kind of what we're soaking in and what we are. And so our practice of Dzogchen, which is supported by a lot of other practices that can be kind of more building up and cultivating kind of practices that allow us to let go. But our actual Dzogchen practice is really about letting go and starting over and starting fresh. And it's about the first moment of awareness. It's not about trying to get into some sort of state. So we do a lot of different things to sort of help ourselves get out of our own way. So like me, maybe you started out this morning with children and dogs, or you started out with maybe a little bit of work that you had to do this morning, or maybe you started out, and this is even on a Sunday, right? Maybe you started out with some household chores, or you started out with some exercise, or you started out with even checking your email. You know, I kind of hope not, but you know, here we are. In a sort of life that includes a lot of digital demands as well as in-person demands. And so we'll take some time to kind of do practice that helps us let go of that, kind of just transition from the to-do list and transition from the kind of nervous energy, transition from that space of doing. And then we remind ourselves, allow ourselves again to enter the space of being, not as a new space, but as a space that has been here all along, just letting go of the rest, of all the rest. So I think the season of winter has all of the possibilities of stripping down, of hibernating, of study, of simplifying at times, also of drawing close to those who are around us, close within our household. As we turn to spring, we come back to this freshness and newness and energy, and there's an uplifting kind of energy of spring. And even this morning, I was noticing all of the spring birds calling me to this morning, to this spring energy. So there become more things. I'm outside sort of year round, regardless of the seasons or the weather of each day. I try to be outside every day and take a long walk, take the dog out, be in the woods. And there's a subtlety to the beauty of the winter. and a loveliness to the gray and white and brown and gray, mostly, of the New England winter. But now we start to see everything anew. And there's something about coming back and being drawn out to every particular kind of newness. I think my mind must have been playing with that, my dreams last night, because I had dreams that there were bears in the yard, you know, which there have been and there are periodically, but I had a mama bear with two bear cubs kind of dreams last night. So I think that was like, you know, the vernal equinox working on my consciousness of here, it's time to come out of hibernation. It's time to start anew. I feel like I've had that need more, even more recently than normal because of the sort of difficulties. You know, we wake up this morning with all the problems and everything, and it's easy to kind of get drawn down into the despair of the circles, even if your inner circle is pretty easy, and nobody's is so easy, but even if it's relatively easy, there's so much going on that can kind of bring us down. And it's, of course, important for us to pay attention to that, to the suffering of samsara, the kind of pervasive suffering aspect. But it's also important for us to take joy, because if we spend too much time in that suffering aspect, it takes away our energy. It takes away our sense of, I don't want to say hope, but confidence, real confidence in our bodhisattva vow, in our vow as a spiritual being to work for the enlightenment of all. We can't get drawn too much into the despair of that. And so starting again, starting fresh, reminds us of this ever dawning wakefulness, that we can start over no matter how difficult it was yesterday, no matter how difficult it was last week, no matter how difficult the last few years have been. We start fresh. We can start with the freshness of the newborn in each moment. So I think the spring energy helps us again turn our attention outwards. We're kind of moving away from the hearth of winter into being out more in the world, perhaps with how things are. I hope that your situation with COVID is like mine, and that it feels a little bit freer all of the time. We're able to be with people. My daughter's going to a birthday party today, and they're not wearing masks. And it's really the first time, you know, since maybe last summer, and really in a lot of ways for a couple years. So our attention can open outward with spring. We also open our attention inward into what's happening within ourselves, knowing that these aren't separate things. So I want us to have a little practice of freshness this morning. A lot of times with meditation, we kind of focus on lengthening our meditation or staying in a particular place or stasis or stillness. We'll do that, but I want to break it up a bit. So we'll start with our normal kind of opening, beginning meditations, getting into a little of the Guru Yoga, our kind of quick and fast Guru Yoga with the Vajraguru mantra, the 7-line prayer and the Vajraguru mantra, just to kind of call our attention to who we really are. That first piece reminds us it's a space of letting go of what came before. And then we'll go into our main meditation, our Dzogchen meditation. And in that space, in that meditative practice, I'm just going to have you stop a few times. We're not going to try to like be still and quiet for the 20 minutes or whatever. We're going to have a few quickies, many quickies instead of few longies, as Lama Surya says. So there's a real you know, even in our retreats, we tend to kind of have, you know, 30-minute or an hour meditation sessions, but there's no sense that that's really, well, you know what? It's like 30 minutes or 60 minutes so that we can have our moments of Dzogchen within them. It's not a 30-minute Dzogchen practice in a way. It's a 30-minute or a 60-minute practice with this freshness of Dzogchen. Dzogchen's that first moment. It's not something which is the result of some kind of concentration. So the stabilization of Dzogchen is really about a coming back to awareness, to the freshness of awareness, or a coming back's not exactly the right word. It's more like awake in every moment. It's not like waking up once in the morning and staying awake. It's like awake, awake, awake. And it's only kind of our mind that's creating this duration. There's not really a duration of Dzogchen practice. That's sort of still in the realm of relative, where time and individuals and self and other kind of all seem to exist. So we're going back to that piece of that freshness, that first moment of awakening. All of the other stuff is kind of to let go of our nervousness in a lot of ways, and our anxiety. And we'll do that here with some kind of traditional prayers and mantras. You also could do it. You may find there are other places in your life that you're doing it naturally. And I always like to call people's attention to that. Like if you're getting up and you start out with a morning run, to just get your body, take care of the body's energy, take care of the I don't want to say just the neurotic energy, but take care of that part of the body that wants to move, take part that like wiggly. I would say to my kids, like, you know, okay, we got to get the wigglies out, like, you know, when they were little, stand up and get the wigglies out before you can pay attention. So we're really just kind of getting the wigglies out. It's not about like trying to get into some place. It's just like let go of the wigglies so that you can kind of chill out a little, like relax. So we're going to do a little prayers, but you also like could find that you do this by walking or running, that you do it by writing, that you do it with your morning yoga practice. It's really easy, much easier, kind of essential really, to be relaxed, to do Dzogchen practice. So do what you do, your nice, good, healthy activities to be relaxed, and then allow yourself to just be, because there's no forcing into just be, like, now just be. It's like there's no, you know, if somebody tells you to relax, do you relax? Or do you get like a little like more upset? Like if somebody's telling me to relax, it's because there's a reason not to. So just actually work with what is, work with the energy of the body, the energy of the mind, to allow yourself to relax. And then in that space, liberation is revealed. It's always there, but we're all kind of caught up in all of the wigglies and the wigglies of mind and body. So we'll start this morning, the kind of traditional meditation. We'll have a little bit of chanting and meditation, a few minutes for questions or comments or sharing, and then we'll go on with our day. Gorjan Yulji Nub Jang Sam Be Mage Sardong Bola Yam San Changi Nu Drum Nye Be Ma Jung Ne Jesu Dra Cornu Ganro Mang Bong Geki Jesu Dag Drugi Jinji Lab Jir Shag Zuzu Guru Be Ma Siddhi Orjan Yulji Nub Jang Sam Pe Mage Sardong Bola Yam San Changi Nu Drum Ye Pe Ma Jung Ne Jesu Dra Gordu Ganro Mang Bong Geki Jesu Dag Dru Ki Jinji Lab Jir Shag Zu Guru Be Ma Siddhi And in English, Hung at the northwest border of Uddiyana, upon a lotus flower's pistil, you have attained marvelous supreme realization. You are renowned as the lotus born, encompassed by vast retinues of dakinis. As we practice, following in your footsteps, please be present to us in blessing and inspiration. Guru Pema Siddhi Hung. So not so important exactly the English, it's more a matter of calling the lineage, calling our ancestors, calling those, calling our highest, best selves, calling our grandmothers, calling those who, invoking the wisdom, the compassionate energy, the compassionate responsiveness of those who call us to be our highest, best selves. So we're really invoking their wisdom, their guidance, as well as evoking that within ourselves. May we be present. As we practice, be present to us in blessing and inspiration. And then with the 7-line, that was the 7-line prayer, and then the Guru mantra, which I'll give Kelly a moment if you pull up the Vajraguru mantra. I got lost a little in the English there. Om Ahung Benza Guru Be Ma Siddhi Hung. 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 Om Ahung Benza Guru Be Ma Om Aum Mensa Guru Bema Siddhi Om. 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 So having welcomed, invoked, invited enlightened energy, awakened energy, Padmasambhava, if that's the guy for you, the lineage, the ancestors, the grandmothers, the enlightened ones, having invited that in our presence and in our consciousness, having reminded ourselves of who we are, of our aspirations and who we actually are. And with the mantra, we move into self-empowerment, blessing ourselves, allowing ourselves to be blessed by this energy, to be filled, to be lit up for our inner light, to be lit. We leave everything else behind as we chant the mantra. Let go of the wigglies, of the striving, of the trying to figure it out. Of all agendas, of all that's gone before. We find ourselves here, the moment of fresh energy. And in this seat, just allow everything to come and go naturally, all thoughts, feelings, perceptions, naturally coming and going. And allow attention to rest simply in awakeness. simply in being, in the light of consciousness, this simple awareness. The ground of all being, the ground of all doing. Then as the freshness starts to wear off a bit, if you find yourself thinking, paying attention to something, your attention drawn to something, rather than simply letting things come and go, then you might ground yourself in the body. So become aware of the body as body awareness. Let yourself feel the feeling of your body upon your seat, with the ground below you, stability, as a way of entering back into that freshness of awareness. Aha, here I am. This natural body. Left as it is, the natural body, Buddha body, enlightened body. Awakened body awareness. Let yourself relax and rest even more in that sort of delicious stability. Nothing to do, just be a body. And to further relax, let go of all that's come before. May turn the attention to the flow of breath energy in this body. This natural flow, not changing the kind of breath, the flow of breath, but just allowing attention to ride that flow. You can feel that energizing aspect of breath, energy. That movement, flow. And with these, the stability of body, this body awareness, this energy awareness, flow. In that place, you can even let the mind open further, crack open. Always just an idea that this mind was somehow contained, limited. Allow yourself to settle into a global, holistic kind of awareness. Nothing pushed away, nothing inhibited, no limits, all welcomed. Allowing everything to come and go just as it is. Now just gently ask yourself, are you trying to make something happen? Are you waiting for something? Is there waiting? Is there trying? Is there manipulating? Is there expecting? And if so, just gently, gently see if you can let go of that too. Nothing to wait for, expect, nothing to expect, nothing to figure out. See if you can just rest. Just let be. Just to continue with our theme of freshness, our focus on freshness today. Just drop it. Just drop what you were doing, drop the meditation. No need to hang on, to hold on to something. Just stop trying. Just stop trying to be still, trying to do anything. Just stop. And then we'll start again. Just let yourself follow the sound again. Not trying to get back to anything. Nothing's gone before, just this moment now. Awareness naturally rests in itself, rests as itself. Just a matter of letting go of everything else. Trying, expecting, hoping, forcing, figuring out. Letting everything else come and go. No agenda. Just at ease. Awake, aware, at ease. If there's nervousness, agitation, excitement in the body, in the breath energy, in the mind, you could again bring your attention, your awareness to stability of body, the flow of breath. Let go of agitation. Gently allowing rest. If you find yourself overcome by dullness, fogginess, sleepiness, bring attention again to the stability of the body. Straighten the spine, raise the gaze, and bring awareness to this energizing aspect of breath energy, uplifting, energizing. Just resting in that balance. Awake and at ease. If you got lost, daydreamy, uncomfortable, just start again. Just shift your position, take a breath, start over. The freshness of this moment. Awake in this moment. On your seat, on the dot, right here. And just as a way of sharing the ease, the beauty, the incredible privilege of resting in awareness in this moment, we'll do the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, just picturing, visualizing, imagining this sense of ease, of all rightness, of goodness flowing out in widening circles, not contained within this body or within this room, or even within your neighborhood or your community, but actually flowing out to all beings in the world. So we'll chant the mantra of Chenrezig, the Buddha of compassion, the Buddha of compassionate responsiveness, the Buddha of activity. So it's this sense of ease then takes form. Wisdom takes form as compassionate responsiveness, of perfectly addressing the needs of beings, the needs of our environment, the needs of the world. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. Just allowing your well wishes to flow out to all beings, that they might be well. May all be free from suffering. May they rest in great ease. May they have deepest happiness and well-being. May they be free from fear, danger, war, pandemic, sickness, famine. May they be free. May they freely bring their awakeness and the gifts of their being to the world. May we all bring our gifts to the world. May we be free from all that impedes our sterling aspirations for the enlightenment of all beings, for the healing of all beings, for the healing of our planet, for the healing of the universe. May all that obstructs our compassionate responsiveness be completely and totally overwhelmed. May we be free. May all be free. And let's complete our practice with Lama Surya's prayer. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world and an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, droughts, earthquakes, all kinds of natural disasters. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. May we better prepare ourselves for the natural calamities that beset us all. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. Thank you, friends, for this time together. There's such sweetness to getting together in this way, supporting each other's practice, being together. Being together really in our aspirations for awakening, our aspirations for creating a better world, creating better lives for ourselves, our families, our neighborhoods, our communities, and really the circle of all beings, seen and unseen. It's a good reminder in this time. I feel like I can get drawn into news. And of course, this isn't the news. It's not on the front page of the New York Times this morning that people got together to wish for the enlightenment of all beings. But it's happening everywhere. It should be on the front page of the news. So if you start watching too much MSNBC or whatever your place is, you can start to think that everything is really too far gone. but it's not. We're doing this morning. There are people all over the world who are holding the world together with their prayers. So if you have any questions, there are people in Albuquerque, there are people in Western Mass, there are people in Pittsburgh and all over. It's so sweet to have this, isn't it? So questions, comments, sharings, anything you'd like. We have just a few minutes. Guatemala. Imaho. Yeah, you also can put in the chat where you're sending love from, so we can feel it from your direction. Yay. That's so fun.
Wow.
Look, from every direction, even from Canada, where even though it's the equinox, it's probably still just barely starting to feel like the beginnings of spring. That's really fun. I don't feel like I've done this before, of asking people to put where they're coming from, but it's just delightful. I hope that you're watching the chat. Alabama, oh my goodness. I'm from Kentucky, so I always feel like Dharma coming from the South is especially welcome for me. Virginia, yay! Pennsylvania, British Columbia, Virginia, Guatemala, New Mexico, Kansas, Pittsburgh, Barrie, hi Lisa, Rochester, where the snowdrops are blooming. There you go. There's one of the first signs of spring in New England and the northern climates. Chicago. New Hampshire. So if you start to feel like there's nobody out there, just remember, having been here this morning, how there's really this, we're holding each other up from all directions. Georgia, woohoo! And bringing the Dharma to all the corners of the world. And sending our prayers. I'm sorry, I feel emotional this morning, especially because of the news coming out of Ukraine, which of course is only in Poland, only representative of what's going on so many corners of the world. Also in Yemen, also in Syria, also the people of Afghanistan, the effects of the lack of awareness and compassion in the world, and the way we counter it through our love and compassion and our good works. So I want to wrap up with one more dedication. Feels like a time in which much prayer is needed. I want to wrap up with the Dzogchen aspiration prayer of Dudjom Rinpoche, one of the great Nyingma masters, head of the Nyingma school for a time, one of the great Nyingma masters of the last century. So I'll close with this.
Pulling that up.
May we obtain the great confidence of the view of the perfect equality of both samsara and nirvana. May we greatly perfect and strengthen meditation, which is naturally resting in the unaltered state. May we gain greater skill in the action, which is natural and spontaneous non-action. May we naturally discover the Dharmakaya, which is beyond gaining and losing. So I wish you all well.
Thank you, Julie.
Take this energy into your day, start over. Anytime you start finding yourself back in the fog of neurosis or back in despair, just take the moment, see it as an opportunity. Aha, I have fallen again into this neurotic movement. I've fallen into this small mind. I've fallen into despair, and just start over. Aha, right here, awareness, always right here, always available, always right here for starting once again. Thank you so much. I wish you all well.